Welcome to Are You Paying Attention?
Hello!
You can do it again!
Woo! He's still in the game.
He's still in the game. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and we're talking Big Brother as usual.
As usual!
Yeah.
As usual, there's twists and turns, and it's all sorts of exciting.
It's great. So we started off, cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Johnny Mac, our favorite, America's favorite, got evicted from the Big Brother house. Unanimous vote.
That cheer that he got.
Oh my God.
Was everything.
Yes, and everyone in the house knew it too. They were like, oh my God, did you hear them cheer for Johnny Mac?
I jumped up when I heard everyone screaming. I was so excited about that.
He's been our favorite since the beginning.
He really has. I didn't know what to expect with that crazy laugh and
I know, he has the weirdest laugh.
It's so endearing, and that's the thing you guys have to remember. If you go on a reality show and you have to be a character, you do have to be over the top.
Right.
But be authentic about it.
Right.
Don't be Austin where you're like made up.
Judas and BS.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Johnny Mac just literally is who he is. And that's probably who he is every day. And his exit interview with Julie was so awkward. And he was like laughing awkwardly and laughing over her questions. But he's just like a goofy guy, and that's why America loves him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was sad to see him go.
Yes, however,
we got to have a juror come back.
Yes, so the jurors went back in the house. Shelley, Jackie, Becky, and Johnny Mac. And they got to participate in the head of household competition. Now, it was a little different this season from last season because last season, do you remember, it was just the jurors who competed? Yeah. And then they went back in the house and it was a whole separate head of household competition.
Yes.
But
they
this
combined it.
Yeah, this was one big challenge.
Which I kind of liked.
I did too. It just sort of moved things along. And
and you just have double stakes because you are looking for both and either and whatever.
Totally.
Yeah.
So the 4 jurors compete, and the way it worked was the last juror standing, no matter what, goes into the house. But if they're also the last person standing, then they're back in the house and they're HOH.
Which would have been amazing.
Yes, and Johnny Mac was so close to winning that, but Vanessa was hanging on for dear life.
Which I just think this shows that anyone can win just about any competition if their back is against the wall.
It's totally true.
The last 5 people on those ropes were the 4 jurors and Vanessa.
Yeah.
Everyone else fell out.
Yeah.
And we had all the jurors left because they were fighting to get in that house.
Tooth and nail to get back in that house. Yeah, I did appreciate that. Like, they were really all fighting to get back in the house.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Vanessa tried to make a deal with John as they were both hanging there, and I love.
Like, no thanks.
John says, "I gotta do my business" or something like that.
I gotta do what I gotta do, or something like that. Yeah.
That was fun because then Austin literally freaked out.
What?
He's like, what?
Yeah.
And then, but he did fall off, and later told Vanessa that he couldn't take a public deal anyway, which I do think is smart.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want people to know now. Like, everybody in the house probably thinks that Vanessa is still his target because he was so vocally against Vanessa for so long. But now they've got a little secret side alliance going.
A little secret side alliance, which is interesting because he does really trust her. Yeah. He was like, oh yeah, I knew I was safe. Yeah. And didn't think I had to take a public deal. And I'm like, you're never safe with Vanessa.
Right.
What?
Right. But he seemed so confident about it.
And she seemed like she definitely was protecting him.
Yeah. So she pulls aside Johnny Mac, and then she also wants to get Steve in on it because Vanessa smartly realizes she's in the Oz Twins, but guess what? At the end of the day, she's first to go out of that group of 4. So she's got to pull in some other people and get some side deals going on to keep herself in the house and get the Oz Twins out eventually. Like, they have to go eventually if she's going to win. So she was smart to do that, I think.
I think this deal that she has with Johnny and Steve is smart on her part.
I'm just really surprised that she was able to make it happen after last week. Like, she was going after Johnny Mac, and then she was going after Steve. She really laid into Steve. But then they're both sort of ready to just like let bygones be bygones, and
that's how good of a player she is.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those times that she sort of attacks people, she's getting information. Like, we've kind of figured that out now. And so all of these little fights she has with people or potential maybe we can work together conversations, they're all just info gathering.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then she turns that around and uses it to her benefit. To that point, she was so mean to Steve.
Oh, she was so mean.
She's, like, that's a bully. We can argue if she's a bully or not, but that was being a bully to Steve.
Yes, and when she did her speech at the Power of Veto competition, so mean.
So mean to
When she was like, I bet you were so happy when I got picked to, like, when I won the Power of Veto competition. But she just really went in on him.
But she knows that that works with him.
Yep.
And she doesn't act that way around Austin because it wouldn't work with him. So, like, that's just, again, to her credit.
She reads people. She knows, like, what they'll respond to.
I hate it, but, you know.
But I'm very impressed by it at the same time.
Right.
Also, I will say about Johnny Mac coming back in the house, I was just laughing at that moment when the twins and Austin are like, oh my God, like, I'm so pissed he's back in this house, and like, now he's gonna come after us, and like, what the fuck did we even do to him? And it's like, you got him evicted. Are you kidding me? Like, they are just, they have lost their minds. Like,
I don't know what planet they live on.
They're so self-absorbed, and like, why would he be mad at us? It's like, you literally just sent him out of the Big Brother house.
And Austin,
what more, like...
Yeah, absolutely. And Austin, after he got back in the house, and Austin was like, oh, I just want to call him out on... He basically said he was coming after me and the twins.
Yeah.
Okay, no, what he said was, I've got to take care of myself, or take care of my business, or something like that. And you're assuming because you've done him wrong.
Uh-huh.
So, like, what would you be calling him out on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you put me on the block, so I might put you on the block.
Yeah, maybe you're my target now.
It's called Big Brother.
Right. It's called, like, karma. Hello.
What? Ugh.
But, I mean, I don't really think that Johnny Mac meant anything by that. I think he just meant, like, I've never won HOH, like, I gotta start playing this game, I gotta win, I gotta do what's best for me. Like, thank you for saying that I'm safe, but I can't trust you, this is Big Brother. I have to, like, the only way I know I'm safe is if I win this competition and I become HOH.
He's got multiple targets.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he could have taken, and he could put anyone on the block.
And before Vanessa, he admitted he had no one in the house. Like, all of his allies had been evicted. So now he has Vanessa. I guess he sort of had Steve also, but like he was up on the block with Steve, so Steve couldn't do anything for him. So I think, you know, now he's in a better spot. We're very happy that he's back in the house and, you know, not on the block this week.
And I'm on board with this threesome of Vanessa, Steve, and John. I thought it's a strong threesome that can go pretty far.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind them being the top three because they're decent players, so any one of them winning, you gotta be okay with that.
I think they're all pretty smart game players, unlike a Julia or a Meg, who are really just not doing anything. I love that Julia was
like, oh, Meg has just floated her way through this whole game.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, wait, have you looked in the mirror?
I'm sorry, Julia, what have you been doing?
Yeah, what did you win? What was your HOH like? Oh wait, you've never been HOH.
Oh wait, you've been like the first to drop on some of the competitions. Okay, whatever.
But you're not a floater.
No.
So anyway, Johnny Mac is back in the house. Vanessa is head of household. Now she has to figure out who her latest target is.
Well, this would have been a great opportunity to take out someone big.
Yeah, make a big move.
Like an Ostwin.
Ostwin.
But no.
No, she puts up James and Meg.
James and Meg.
Little old Meg.
Little old
harmless
James and
Meg.
Because you know, they're doing so much damage in this house right now.
I mean, I will say, from a strategic standpoint, she's breaking up a showman's, a duo, or whatever. That's a smart move. But they're not a power couple. Like, the Ostwins have been in power so much this season. Yeah,
I think she views this Ostwin as it's kind of an alliance for it. It's kind of.
Right.
So she knows she has to break them up, but I think she just thinks she can wait to break them up.
Right, like maybe it's too early.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of like, how many more HOH competitions are there? Like, it's 4 weeks from the end of the season.
We are getting down.
You don't have that many more opportunities here.
Yeah. James is a strong player, so getting him out is not a bad idea. And breaking up that duo is not a bad idea, so I get it.
And that is what she said to Ostwins, because initially Austin goes in and he's like, Johnny Mac, obviously, we got to put him back on the block and get him out of here. And she's like, no. Like, Johnny Mac, he like has never been HOH. She spins it where she's like, we have to get out physical threats, and James is a physical threat, so James is my target this week.
She spins it however it works best for her.
And she's always successful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I know Austin and the twins were not happy that she was like, no, I'm keeping Johnny Mac, but she convinced them.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Right.
Everyone's on board. James and Meg go up.
Yeah.
James and Meg are completely caught off guard.
Completely blindsided.
They think they're totally safe.
Yeah.
This is when I will go back and say, the morning of eviction on Thursday, Vanessa says to John, because they have been trying to work it so that he would stay, John was throwing people's game up left and right.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing ultimate Big Brother. Their last effort, Vanessa says to John, if you can flip Meg and James to keep you, then I will flip and keep you. But she was like, I have to know that they're doing it because it will publicly show Austin and the twins that I'm going against them. It's very risky for me. She was like, so I can't even be a part of this conversation. So John goes and works on James and Meg, and he starts throwing a bunch of war game out. He tells them how Austin and the twins made him promise if they were gonna keep him that he had to put one of the goblins up with the returning juror, and like blows their mind that, oh my god, Austin doesn't have their back, blah blah blah. You know, Austin's back in with Vanessa. What? He is? Like they're so clueless. And so for a minute they freak out and they were like, oh my gosh, you know, they kind of didn't want to keep Steve in the first place.
Yeah.
So they were just doing what Austin was telling them to do. So for a minute, it looked like they were going to flip. And they were like, well, obviously we have to have Vanessa on board. So the two of them talked to Vanessa. That's what they did show on Sunday night. They showed just a little portion of that, which of course she twisted to make it sound like something else. But how that conversation started was they were sort of trying to feel each other out to see if they could keep John. But of course Vanessa couldn't come straight out and say, I'll keep John if you guys are, you know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But in the midst of all that, Meg freaks out and says, I don't know about this, let's just talk to Austin. James is like, well no, we shouldn't talk to Austin. Yeah. We should just make this decision. And Meg was like, I don't feel comfortable, let's just talk to Austin. So of course she says to Austin, did you guys make this deal? Were you guys working against me? And Austin's like, no, of course not.
Yeah, of course he's gonna say that.
So Meg's like, okay, never mind. So at this point now,
Meg, oh my God,
that James and Meg are on the block, I'm like, you had your moment.
Yeah.
You had your chance. That would have changed everything.
Absolutely. But now.
But once again, you were not playing Big Brother with the rest of them. Yeah. So I can't feel bad for you.
I also loved this week when Meg and James went up to the HOH room, and Vanessa was, you know, she was telling the Oz twins that she was going after James and Meg, but you know she plays both sides of the house at all times. So she calls James and Meg up, or they go up, whatever it is, and they're having a conversation with her, and she's legitimately like, do you have any information for me that would help me make my decision? And James literally is like,
I love how they edited that. They're like,
just like nothing, like radio silence. They have no information for her. So then she's like, well, I guess that kind of makes my decision easier.
And I get both sides of that. Obviously, if they had come clean right then and said, yes, Austin and the twins and we have an alliance outside of you. We were all ganging up. Like they could have maybe revealed some stuff to change her mind, but mostly she would have just used that information against them.
Yes,
and
eventually.
they know that.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't offer.
But I just feel like they didn't, like, I don't know, it's a weird strategy. Like, I feel like you have to think about, like, well, what can I tell her that seems like information, but isn't really? You know, like, you can't just give her nothing.
Again, that's why some people are better players.
Yeah, right. So that's why James and Meg are on the block this week.
Yeah.
So they were very surprised. Vanessa gives a speech about chess and kings and queens, and that's why James and Meg are on. But she says, you know, it's the furthest thing from personal. It's just a game move. Yeah. So her target is James as of Sunday night.
Spoilers!
Get ready.
They played the power of veto.
Yes, it's like a scavenger hunt. They're tearing the house apart.
Through the house, in their actual stuff. Everyone played except for John and Steve. Those were the only two who did not have to play.
Yes, the Oz twins all got picked, along with the nominees, Megan, James, and Vanessa.
So that means that anybody could have won except for James and Meg, and the nominations would have stayed the same.
Yes.
So who won?
James won.
James!
Apparently barely. Like Vanessa apparently almost won.
We'll have to
so
see
she
that
says.
for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But he wins, so of course he's gonna take himself off the block. There was some talk of him saving Meg, which is so stupid. Again, these guys, they just really want to save their girls this season, you know? So James ultimately, after he wins POV, he has a conversation with Vanessa, right?
Well, of course, Vanessa is just like loses her mind.
Beside herself.
Because she can't handle that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So he goes up to talk to her, and it doesn't go well.
It doesn't go well. I mean, I don't know what he thought was gonna happen, but I think he was hoping that he could make a deal to keep Meg.
Yes.
Or, you know, however.
Right.
To keep both of them.
Essentially, like, during the conversation, he's very calm. It sort of seems like, I hope they put it on television, but it sort of seems like it might be reminiscent of the Johnny Mac Vanessa fight, where the person is very calm and Vanessa gets very upset very quickly and things escalate and get out of hand. But, you know, it sounds like James is saying things like, you're playing the game too hard and you're reading too much into things. And then Vanessa's like, are you insulting me right now? Like, get out of the HOH room. I can't believe you're saying this to me. Like, totally flies off the handle.
She like cussed at him and was like, get out of here. I'm getting angry with you. Yeah. So they won't show that on TV because they usually don't.
Yeah, but he's just sort of like, I'm just citing the differences between our games. Like, super calm. Like, so I'm excited to see that.
Do you think that she flies off the handle because she thinks that throws people off kilter?
I was just gonna say that. Yes, I think she thinks it disarms people and they're just like, oh, what are you doing? And then they start talking to try to smooth things over and then maybe say things that they wouldn't normally say.
Yeah, I think it is a kind of, I think she does get emotional. Yeah. But I think it is a tactic that she, especially like crying to guys, I think if she cries to guys, she thinks that they don't know what to do with that.
And then they just tell her things.
Yeah, and they're like, no, I'm sorry, and they want to appease the situation instead of having a crying girl in front of them. Right. And that's a way for her to get away. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I hate that. I feel like it's sexist and it puts us women back decades. So I don't like that tactic.
Yeah, I get it. But she really is playing on, I don't want to say insecurities, but like the tendencies of men to want to appease, you know, because she's not actually, well, we think that it's a strategy and that she's not actually as upset as she is.
Well, I think she does get emotional and off kilter. Right. But I think she pushes it. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Yeah. She doesn't tell us in the DR. She's not honest with us.
Right, exactly.
Concerns me that she believes her own lies. But, so who knows? Who knows what's really a tactic and what's really just craziness.
So then James ends up taking himself off the block.
He does.
And Vanessa's forced to put up at a replacement nominee.
Okay, we're now at a moment, Vanessa, when you could accidentally get a strong person out.
Well, and here's the thing. You put up a strong person against a floater, and your target was the strong person. The strong person comes down. Why don't you find another strong person to put up there?
Yeah, why don't you? Yeah. Because honestly, if you put up any one of your strong alliance members and say they're a pawn and that everyone is voting Meg out and then accidentally the house turns against you.
But Vanessa has nothing to do with
Vanessa didn't vote this person out. Yeah. So they accidentally go out and you'd have your hands clean still.
Yeah, and then a big player's gone.
Why isn't she doing that?
Well, that's really a question for the ages because she puts Julia up on the block. The two biggest floaters this season.
Legitimately have two floaters against each other right now.
It's crazy.
This is a waste of an HOH.
I'm really intrigued to see, because you know she's always got a spin and she's always got a strategy. Like, I can't see it. I don't know what the point is of putting Julia on the block and trying to get out Meg.
She really wants Meg out.
Yeah. So I want to know why. Like, why are you trying to get Meg out? Meg is not a threat. She has literally won nothing this entire season. What's the point?
You have to think that Vanessa knows that deep down. No matter what game she's playing, she has to know that Meg is not a threat.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So she put up Julia because she knows people will keep Julia and vote out Meg.
Yeah.
Hashtag missed opportunity.
Absolutely. She could have gotten out Austin. She could have gotten out Liz.
Get out Liz or Austin. I mean, I think if you put Austin up as a pawn, it doesn't really play. I think you can get away with Liz as a pawn, though.
Yeah, and it's just really a missed opportunity.
But here's what's exciting is this week is a double eviction and the house guests don't know it.
Yeah.
They think it's the next week. So, oh my gosh, I really hope that they don't pick up on it and realize it's this week.
Right.
Because if they get thrown off, this is going to be amazing.
Oh my God, yes. And please, please, I know we say it every week, but please let Johnny Mac win head of household for this double eviction situation.
Please.
That would just be amazing. And I don't want
him
to go
home. You know what would be really
so
amazing is if Steve won it again and put Austin and Liz up. And everyone freaked out again, and he was like, I don't know what to do. It's double eviction.
And then everyone's like, Steve, it's not your fault. Nobody's blaming you.
Whoever wins it has got to put the two of them up because it's the perfect time for the house to just not know what to do, lose their minds, and you've split up a showmance.
Yeah.
A strong showmance at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Please.
I mean, one of these days it has to happen,
right?
It
has to, right? It can't be Austin and Liz in the final two.
Oh my God, I'll cry. Then I would like Johnny Mac to win head of household.
Yes.
I'd like him to win it.
Johnny Mac.
And like rule the house for a week and have Austin and the twins like crying to him and be like, wow, what can we do for you? We'd love to work with you. I just want to see that.
I just want to see the people grovel.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure Meg goes home this week. I can't imagine anyone flipping on Julia.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited about a double eviction again.
That is really very interesting. Do you think we're going to see another BB takeover this season?
Nope.
It's just gone.
Nope, it's gone.
We got three of them. We got three right out the gate.
3 solid takeovers.
Really great. They've got a lot of A-listers.
Good old Grunk.
All right, until next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.